Hey guys, it's Gareth, aka Boy 101. Welcome back to my channel. So, oh my gosh, it's finally out, Planet Zoo. I've literally had this on my wish list since I remember it was announced. Because I heard obviously it's from the franchise that brought Planet Coaster, but I have never played Planet Coaster, but from what I've seen, it looks amazing. So yeah, I love zoo games. I used to play Zoo Tycoon all the time. So that's why I was so excited when I saw this game being announced. So yeah, I'm just excited to bring this to you guys. And yes, I have played the first three careers, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it again and then just record it for my channel. Because the main reason why I played those is because obviously I've never played Planet Zoo before, any of the titles. So I don't know how the mechanics work and everything. So that's why I played it, and just so that I can get the hang of it myself before I record for you guys. But we will jump right back into this. We're going to start a new one. So the first one is Stately Homeschooling, Goodwin House, renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in the 1980s. Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. More recently, it has undergone a further renovation to update many of the habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work hasn't quite been completed, which is where you come in. Okay, so start new. And here we go. So exciting. Yeah, I love building things and I love animals. And from what I've seen from this game, it's quite cool the way they do it because you can also release animals back into the wild and stuff like that. It's really cool. Here's the intro. These people, they were walking backwards.
Heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor
Fur
devil kept
allergy.
sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be
Nancy.
lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay, so this is obviously on this side is your missions to get to the gold star. So like I said, this is more of like a tutorial just to get everyone that's not familiar with the game to actually get familiar with it. Okay, so locate the grizzly bear habitat. They've already highlighted it here, so you could just actually zoom in.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too.
It's true, I would.
Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Okay. Hi,
This is
Zachary.
where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Okay, so this is the camera mode, so that it will take you into like the camera of the animal. Oh,
See
so
now, this is a
pretty.
fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Take a screenshot while I'm at it. So pretty. Okay. Locate the West African habitat. Or you could just click here and it
Unfair
will take you
Leo
to it.
Leo. All the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride. Although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome. Which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Let's go. Yeah, so like I was trying to say, you can just click the location and it will actually take you straight to it, which is cool.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Okay.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
That'll be interesting.
When
Actually,
you adopt an animal, it's
okay.
automatically placed in the trade center, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
So basically you can click and then move them individually, or you can click both and then move, or you could just say select all up here, and then you just move and you click on the
When you
habitat.
ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade center, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade center's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Okay, where are they? Ah, there it is.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Okay, so this is the food trough. Okay, so where are we going to put it? You're probably going to want to put it close to where the people can see them so that they can see them eating.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Let's put it here.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now,
I
our
do
contractor
try.
had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
So cute.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner. Ah, that's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because
Truth.
it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out?
True.
Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay, so I think this is a great spot to end this episode. I'm sorry, like I'm just cutting them up, but you know what? Like I said before, I want to try and make like about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, roughly round about there, worth of content. But yeah, I mean, I'll upload the next one because, like I said, I love this game and I really can't wait to play more of it. So definitely I will be like recording more of this. So yes, I'm hoping you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world. And I hope you enjoy this video because I will be uploading more. And yes, please like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification so that you're notified whenever I upload more content. And yeah, share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching and love you guys lots. And I'll see you next time. Bye.